Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
Laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Yes, this is a Hardcore Grind interview with the fabulous author and boss chick, Niyah Moore. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I thank you for being able to share your time, your space, and your energy. Now, it's been so long since we talked. You got to let me know what you've been cooking in your creative kitchen.
Oh, my goodness, so much. It's been, I believe, 20-plus titles since the last time we spoke. So, yeah, I release about 2 to 3 books a year now.
Wow. Now, do we see any movies coming from that? I'm just saying.
Well, we do have Sand Cove. The movie script is in progress as we speak. So we shall see what comes of that.
I love it. I love it. Now, we always talk about a goal moment on our show. You've been on our show before. And I love to be able to talk about a person's goal moment. A lot of times we're really mindful about how we pour into other people, how they pour into themselves. But when it comes to us, we kind of deal with lack and not right now mindset. Like, I can't do it right now. I don't have time, because we're thinking of other people. Just want to go back and talk about your goal moment. What was your moment like when you decided to sit down and say, I'm about to start writing?
Oh, my goodness. I was going through my first divorce. I've been divorced twice now, but my first divorce. And I was just not happy working, punching in, going into work, and then working at the salon on the weekends and coming home, being a mom. Writing has always been part of my everyday since I was probably 9, 10. I used to keep a diary, a journal, and then I was writing full novels starting in 6th grade into high school. It just became a part of my everyday before school, before cheerleading practice, going to games. I'm writing. But the moment hit me when I was about 23, when I said, hey, I want to publish and I want to share this gift with the world. I no longer want to keep it just to myself. Of course, all my friends were gassing me, right? You're good enough. You're good enough. You're good enough. But once other people outside of my circle started telling me what I had was good enough, that's when I was like, so it's go time.
I love it. I love it. Now, a black woman who can write is powerful. What does that power mean to you?
It's like my air. When I can't write, I feel like empty, like something's missing. When I can't have those moments, it's like my outlet. I just feel like something's missing. And lately, that's what's been going on with me. I haven't wrote anything new in about a year. I've just been releasing stuff that I've already had in my vault. But now I'm starting to feel that thing of, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel sad? Or why am I waking up feeling weird? What's missing? And I'm like, you know what? I haven't wrote anything. That's what it is. That's what's missing. It's like my life.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, because you have such a dynamic pen style, I want you to describe your pen style in 5 words. And I want you also to tell me, what do you admire most about your pen?
I would say it's deep, complex, sexy. Let's see. Outside of the box, and definitely thought-provoking.
That it is. That it is. And what do you admire the most about your pen?
I admire the most that I'm not in one genre. I can write in many genres. I don't just have African American like hood romance or just erotica. I do paranormal. I do historical fiction. But the baseline is always romance, no matter what arena I'm in. There's always a romantic story, a sexy story tied in, no matter what I'm doing. But I love that I'm just not one type of writer. I can go many directions.
I love it. And that's so true because, you know, I've stepped into being able to write as well. And I've used my anthology that I started writing in, The Breaking Point, as a way for me to kind of get my feet wet because it's easy to be behind the scenes and do a lot of things. But I did find that, and I had to learn that there are a lot of different things when it comes to writing a book. And that is one of those things that a lot of authors have to be able to understand and know. Now, how are you? What's your drive? How is Niyah more driven? What drives you on your day-to-day when you're creating and moving around?
Really, my drive comes from wanting to be successful and always feeling like I can one-up myself and challenge myself. I'm very competitive. I'm very competitive with self. You know, a lot of people, when I came out with Major Jazz, they were like, how are you going to top that? Or, gosh, you elevated even more with Beneath the Bayou. How are you going to top that? And it just, like, kept getting better and better and better because I challenged myself. I read a lot, too. I read my favorite authors, like Eric Jerome Dickey, which a lot of his pen style before he passed has changed so much from when he first started writing. And I admired that about him because he elevated and evolved, and I want to be that kind of writer. And that's what really gets me is how can Niyah Moore evolve and then keep evolving. I don't want to stay the same.
Absolutely, and I can definitely agree with that and relate. Now, when we think of what inspires us, where does your inspiration flow when you sit down to decide to write? You know, where does that inspiration, where is it coming from?
In the beginning, my inspiration was really my favorite author of all time, Zora Neale Hurston. She was like one of my biggest inspirations. Just to be heard and to feel like you make your own mark in history. Of course, when she was going through it, she didn't know the magnitude or the impact that she would even have on African-American culture. You know, she was just writing about what she saw and what she experienced being an African-American in that time. But I felt like what she left in her legacy and the way it was set up, it just was like, gosh, that's something. That's something that I definitely want to aspire to be. I was inspired so that I can aspire, of it.
Absolutely, and that's so true because you inspire so many. You're a blueprint of so many authors and so many readers that want to be authors. How does that make you feel to know that you are actually setting out to inspire people and you're inspiring them more than what you expected?
Oh my goodness, I didn't really realize how much I had inspired others until going to this the Atlanta Kickback, because that was like my first time really meeting and being in front of other authors and showing my face, and even a lot of readers. But to hear, so I was called the GOAT by 2 different authors where I was like, you talking about me? You know what I mean? But it touched me. One of the authors let me know, like, how much of an inspiration I was and how she's been watching my moves and just was like, I just got to thank you for being that and being who you are. And I was moved to tears because I had no idea. You know, you have friends on social media and Facebook and stuff, and you network with people, and a lot of times it's just really just hitting like or conversing, or sometimes you might not even get a like. You don't realize who's watching. So you don't really know. But to hear that, I was like, well, I can't quit now. Like, you know, there are times I feel like I want to retire. But I was like, oh, no, that I can't quit now. Like, I have to keep going because I don't feel this is the end for Niyah Moore. I feel like there's so much more and so many others that I can be there for and help them in their journey as well.
I definitely agree. Now, if you could change anything about the literary industry, what would it be?
Oh, man, I would definitely change the messiness. I mean, I feel like I was in that middle. I came out between when people were really getting the big traditional deals to more people moving towards being self-published and moving to the Kindle platform. So I got to see what's it like on both sides of it. And I feel like more self-published authors don't really know what kind of stuff you go through with being with a major publisher, the rejection, the editing process, the changing process, not having as much creative control. And I feel like a lot of new authors don't really know, and they get, you know, they're not to be, I'm not disrespecting anybody when I say this, but to be a Amazon bestseller versus, you know, maybe a New York Times bestseller, it's definitely different. But you can't really tell these new authors anything. They think they know everything. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like what their journey is their journey, and I tip my hat off to them because it is not easy to get 600 reviews on your Kindle book. So those who are doing it, that's amazing, you know. I just feel like if I had to change anything about the industry, it would just be how people are really stuck on their egos, just like in any industry, you know, and the thing of they look down on others or they're better than anybody. That's the part I would definitely change. I don't like that part of it.
And I definitely agree. I think that there is that false concept of being with a major and what the expectation is. It's always bigger than what the author is going to receive. Now, you've been signed to two majors twice. What was that process like for you?
The first time I didn't have an agent, so it was crazy how I literally just inboxed Zane. It was like, hey, I have this story, you know, and I didn't think she would even respond, but she responded, and I got into Chocolate Flavor 4. So that was really like my opening. She loved my vampire story that I submitted to that anthology so much that she was like, is this a full novel? And I was like, yeah, it could be a full novel. And I wrote that thing in 3 days. I wrote for Bell Palace in 3 days, and I didn't get a response until 2 years later about it. And she messaged me on Facebook like, hey, Niyah, I didn't forget about you, but I definitely want to sign you to Strebber under Simon & Schuster. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy, because it literally just started as an anthology submission. I didn't even think that would happen that way. But that's what led me to getting my literary agent, Entice, because we both were signed to Zane. So when Entice opened up her literary agency, she asked if I was looking for representation, and she got my deal with Carl Weber at Urban /Kensington, which it just feels like it just was meant to be. It wasn't a thing of putting in, query letters and getting rejections, even though I've had over 40 rejection letters in the past from different publishing houses. So to get that, and it just seemed so smooth, I knew it was meant to be.
Absolutely. Now, what is the vision for your brand? I recently was listening to the Jill Hunt. They have Sean Sinclair and a lot of fabulous authors have a podcast that they do on Clubhouse. And recently, Al-Sadiq Banks was on there, and he said something that was so great. He said, "I'm selling the brand. I'm not selling the book." Now, what's the vision for your brand? What do you want readers to experience when they pick up a Niyah Moore book?
See, this is something I struggle with because my agent wants me to stick to one genre for Niyah Moore and possibly write as another author for my other stuff. So because Niyah Moore is so popular with urban reads, she wants Niyah Moore to be an urban fiction author. I have a problem with that because I'm not just that. And yes, I could, and I know a lot of authors do this. They write under many pen names. I mean, Stephen King is, horror, but Richard Bachman is his romance handle. So, what I want people to get from Niyah Moore as a brand is that no matter what genre, it's always going to be a story that is relatable and romantic and touches the heart and helps you go through many emotions. My main thing is just complex relationships that are always intertwined and tied in some type of way, no matter the background, no matter if it's mystery or, paranormal or whatever. There's always a theme in there that lets you know this is a Niyah Moore read. The way these characters are woven in together and the way the story is told, this is definitely a Niyah Moore book, regardless of the genre.
I love it. Now, there's a high cost pursuing and pulling your vision together. What has been the biggest challenge in your journey?
Getting to identify my audience, because I do write in different genres. I have those people who love My Husband, My Enemy or Thug's Heartbeat who refuse to read Major Jazz or Beneath the Bayou. And then I have those who love Bittersweet Exes and Guilty Pleasures who refuse to read, they don't. There's only a few of them that will read everything that's in my library, and others who just be like, I can't do it. I can't do San Cove, but I love Young Gucci. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things I really struggle with, is really finding my audience. So, and the audience who will just read everything that I have and give it a chance. That's been my struggle. So I do have quite the decision to make of where Niyah Moore will land.
I'm excited because you're very talented. You got a very powerful pen, and opposed to being sweet, y'all, she is sweet as pie. But just business wise and being a blueprint for authors and for myself. Like, she shows you how to move around. Even though she takes a lot of bold steps, you take a lot of bold steps in the dark, and then it's like, hi, I'm here.
Right.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? I was just doing a thing, but this is right here.
Right. I do that. It's crazy.
Now, you're a very accomplished author, entrepreneur. I want you to tell us about hair smoothies.
Okay. Well, Shea Butter's hair smoothies. I went to beauty school right after I dropped out of college. I got married, had a baby after my first year at Sac State, and hair has been in my whole family. Like my great grandmothers, my great aunts, like they had salons. They're like doing hair in the kitchen. Like, you know, my mom was doing hair weaves. People come over. So hair has always been like a part of my life. I was braiding hair in high school for people doing hair for them for junior and senior prom, you know. So it just felt natural to go to beauty school. And I finished beauty school in like 10 months. That's with having a new son, a new husband, plus working as a receptionist, right? So I've always had like a lot of stuff going on. But when I got divorced, we went through this custody battle that basically stopped me from, I lost my passion, in a nutshell, for being behind the chair. Uh-huh. And I really poured more into writing in that time, where I was just writing my butt off. I didn't care about going to work or being in the salon or anything. Like, I took nearly 7-8 years off. And a lot of my clients, because I had so many clients, I mean, like reoccurring, where my books will be booked up for the whole year. You couldn't get in. If you had a time slot, I would make you pick your time slot, and you got to stick to that for the whole year. And if you didn't want to stick to the time slot, you might lose it, and then you have to come in as a possible slip-in, right? But I was like, how can I put myself in a jar where people could still get me without me being there? So I've always been kind of like a chemist. I never leave things as they are. I'm always mixing, matching shampoos, whatever. Even in beauty school, my teacher was like, you are hella smart. Like, you're on some chemistry. Did you go to college? Like, you know, you're not like the other beauty school people. I'm like, yeah, you know, I graduated top of my class and this, that. So she's like, okay. But I was always finding things. I would go to the beauty supply store, and it was like a 7-in-1 oil and then a hair mayonnaise and, you know, carrot oil and all these different things based on what I see that my clients needed. So I formulated Shea Butter's hair smoothies over the past 2 years, just trying different things, working out different things. And when COVID hit, I was like, hey, man, that's the perfect time for me to launch. So I want something that deals with hair growth. Or women are wearing a lot of weaves and wigs. They're losing their edges. They're not shampooing, conditioning as frequently as they need to. They're not caring about how their hair looks underneath. My thing is, I don't care if you wear weaves, braids, wigs. At some point, you're going to want to wear your hair, or at least know you have hair, right, or take care of what you have. So hair care has always been like my main focus, even as a weave and wig specialist. My clients' hair will be in the middle of their back or shoulder length or whatever. They can come out of their wigs and weaves, and people are like, oh, my God, they have all that hair. Why are they wearing weaves? You know, well, that's the benefits of coming to me. So that's how Shea Butter Hair Smoothies was born.
Listen, I got mine, and I'm excited. She sent me, like, everything. I'm like a kid in the candy store. I'm like, ooh, it came with directions and everything. I'm excited because I love to be able to support people. But she has like a honey papaya shampoo. Oh, my God, when I say it smells so good, y'all. It smells so good. So I'm so excited to I have my hair braided now, so I'm going to take it out. And I'm going to tell you how it go. I do rice water rinse. So I'm going to do it with my rice water rinse. Okay. And we're going to make it do what it do. I'm excited. Smells so good. Yeah, and I want to thank you for sending it to me. Absolutely. Now, you've recently released and signed with Carl Weber in 2019, and you have your newest release, Sand Cove series. What can we expect from that series, and what was the vision behind the creation?
Well, I've always imagined and dreamed about a beach house, or like a community, a line of beach houses that are owned by Blacks, right? And they're successful and they look perfect. These are picture perfect people. But when you dig in deeper, you realize they are so far from perfect. As a matter of fact, their secrets are scandalous. And so I just always had that story. And then I decided to throw in, someone gets murdered and who did it type of situation. When I came up with it and presented it to Carl, I didn't even finish with what it was about. He was instantly like, oh, yeah, yes, absolutely. There's a 1 and a 2. Let's do it, So right with that, I am absolutely in love with those characters. I love all my characters, but some are just more special than others. And the Sand Cove characters are definitely ones that I love. And I get so much feedback on how much they love. They wish they could live at Sand Cove. I'd be like, hell, me too. I wish I lived at Sand Cove too.
And I love that because when you think of like Murder, She Wrote and just creating like your own lane and city and just vision, I get excited because I'm like, who created Cabot Cove? Like, is that a real place? Or, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that you sat down and like, let me give them a vision of something that they can desire outside of a male character. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times when we read, we get our book boos, but never a book location, like a place we desire to be. Like, I need to find me this place. I need to be there. I need to sit there. I need to experience it. And I think that's what's different from your books compared to other authors, because now you're giving them something besides a person to desire.
Right.
Now, there are a lot of budding authors that face many challenges that can be overwhelming sometimes. And at times it can be complex depending on how the author comes into the industry. What advice would you give or what would you encourage? How would you encourage a new author?
Study the craft, and then not only that, understand why you're doing it. Like, what do you want to get out of it? Like, are you doing it because you're just going to be rich? Or are you doing it because you just love writing? Like, whatever your motivation is, or make sure you have realistic expectations in this, because we don't get rich overnight. A lot of us are struggling artists. And so, everybody has a story, right? But not everyone knows how to tell that story. So I would say perfect and work on your writing voice. What does that sound like? What is that? What separates you from other writers? Or it's okay to sound like other writers, but what makes you unique? What will make people say, hey, I want to pick up this book by this author. I love this author because she does this. You know what I mean? And when I say study your craft, like really learn. If you're not good at grammar and all those things, and I know there's editors, but it's best for you to evolve and learn those things. If you want to be a writer, learn how to write the proper sentence. Learn how to write the proper dialogue. Is it natural? Is it forced? Is it, are there loopholes? Is there things missing? Are you a writer who jumps from one thing to another? Perfect the craft. If you want to be a writer, we still have to study. Don't be afraid to take writing classes. You know what I mean? Like, I still take writing classes and workshops, even being, someone who excelled and was really good in English growing up. Like, I was in all the advanced placement English classes. I tested right into regular English 1A going into college. You know what I mean? So, but I still require at least 2 editors and a proofreader. So it's important to really be passionate and study all there is to know about being a good writer.
I definitely agree. Let me scroll up to the other. Now, what's next? What's next for Niyah Moore? What can we expect moving forward?
Well, when I was in college, I did a lot of script writing. I actually write plays too, plays and scripts and television and different things. And so I really would love to be able to break into that side of the business. I had to force myself to be a literary writer. I was so script where I didn't have details and all that. I remember years ago I had a conversation with F. Gary Gray, and I had him read just like a little snippet, and he said, "You write like you're directing your characters. You're a director." And I was like, "I'm a what?" I mean, I heard this in college. They always wanted me to direct. Hey, Niyah, you're directing. Hey, get in the hot seat. You're directing this commercial today. And I used to get so nervous and scared, like, why is he picking on me? You know, because I didn't see the vision. I'm like, this professor is picking on me. Why does he want me to direct this? Or why does my theater teacher want me to direct this stage show? I didn't understand. So I'm thinking I'm just a book writer. I just want to write books. But F. Gary Gray, no lie, looked at it and said, "You're a director. You write like you're directing your characters." And I was like, huh. So I really would love to tackle that and direct and get into that side of the business.
I can see that. Okay, so what would be I know you said Sand Cove is already written and ready to go. I mean, what is your vision behind that? If you could pick characters or actors and actresses to play your characters, who would they be? Who do you envision pulling that?
Oh, my goodness. I honestly, it's so crazy because I could see them clear as day, but definitely Mabel Kelly would have to be Lynn Whitfield. I can see Alonzo as Morris Chestnut. I can see Alistair as more of a funny character like Kevin Hart. And then for my British actress, who I feel like Tahira, that's the British in the book or movie. I feel like I would go with someone who's new and fresh, but she would have to be a British actress. But I mean, there's so many talented people that could definitely play these characters. But those are the main ones that I see when I look at those characters.
All right. Now, I've been asking this question lately only because I'm really into branding. I think that, there are jobs, there are careers, and then there's a brand. What are your top 5 most essential elements in creating a powerful brand, and why?
I think logo is important, something that stands out and it's clear and it's direct, and just like you would recognize the McDonald's sign, right? So logo is definitely important to a brand. And then also, what is the brand? Does it have something that it stands for? What is the purpose? What is the goal? What is this company trying to achieve with this brand? And then also, like, protecting that brand and just respecting the brand, respecting yourself, being conscious of what you post, being conscious of what you share. That's all part. Once you brand yourself, you are like walking, living this brand 24/7. It shouldn't be a shut off. You are the brand. You yourself, if you're branding yourself, you are the brand. Also, like, color schemes are important. Making sure it's cohesive, and just how are you separating yourself from other brands. There's many people who do what you do, But what makes your bread better than this bread? You know?
I definitely agree. With that. Let's see. Now, we always ask this question, and I know authors hate it, and I just want to ask because you write multiple genres, and that means you got multiple characters. If you had to pick your favorite character, yes, I'm asking you to pick a favorite child. Who is your favorite character to write of all time?
I do have a favorite child, and I know a lot of people be looking at me crazy because I do. Major Jazz is by far my favorite character.
What makes him your favorite character? Like, what is it about that life you've created that just draws you to it?
He is a tortured soul, torn between music and the woman that he loves. And his pain is so relatable, and also it's beautiful at the same time because he learns a valuable lesson in choosing why he chooses. You know, music, he feels like he shouldn't have to choose between music and this woman because music is essentially the only woman that he wants. But to find someone who is also the love of your life and you know this is the woman for you, you have to make an important decision. So I love his choice. I love his choices. He's just beautiful. Like, in my mind, this is a beautiful man. And he's so, like, his soul. He's giving, he's kind, he's compassionate. He will do anything for anyone around him. And he's so headstrong to the point of stubbornness. But I love him.
Isn't that what we always say? But I love him.
I love him. You know, I love him.
I love it. I so appreciate you coming to kick it with me on today. I want you to shout out all of your social media where everyone can get any of your books, come in contact with you.
Yes, so Facebook, it's Niyah Moore. Instagram, it's real Niyah Moore because I got hacked. Well, that's a long story. It's another thing. Twitter is Niyah Moore. I no longer have a website, but I have all my books available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, in-store, and also, you know, Walmart, Target, Books A Million. Yeah.
I thank you so much. Okay, let me end this.